4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
What's up, Minnesota Vikings fans? Welcome into another episode of House Calls. I am your host, the Skull Doc. Joining me, as always, is my co-host, Dave. This show is brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. Partner, we got a new QB1 in town. Kyler Murray joining the Minnesota Vikings. How you feeling?
Well, we went from 9 to 5-9, so it's...
That was a good one. The short memes, honestly, were pretty good.
I've been getting them sent to me.
My favorite one was the dwarf actor, what is his name, Peter Dinklage, with his arm around Kyler, and Peter was like towering over Kyler Murray. That one was good. No, but I'll be honest, like early in the process, and by the way, what's up, Bob? Welcome in, Bob. Good to see you, buddy. Early in the process, I was against it. I just wanted to roll with J.J. McCarthy and develop him for next year. But Matthew Collar really presented some valid arguments for why Kyler Murray to the Minnesota Vikings at $1.3 million this year makes all the sense in the world. And there were a lot of people that I listened to on various shows that said that it wasn't a good scheme fit, that it was a terrible scheme fit, in fact. And Collar looked at the tape and he said, wait a minute, is that true? I see a lot of things here that Kyler Murray's pretty good at that I could see working in this Vikings offense, and he does go over the middle more than we give him credit for. And then lo and behold, I think Alec Lewis just came out with a film analysis today that you can find on his Twitter that basically said the same thing, that a lot of Kyler Murray's traits and the way that he likes to play football does coincide with the things that Kevin O'Connell likes to do. So yeah, I give this one an A+ just because I don't see the downside here. It's $1.3 million. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, definitely value. Obviously is amazing. So I even heard that we offered him, we wanted them to have for 2 years, and he stuck to his guns and stayed with 1. So it was us, not him, wanting 2 years. That would have just wiped out J.J. McCarthy. But yeah, I'm excited for the fact that he is an exciting player to watch. I mean, like I think I said last week, this guy is known as the best player to ever play in Texas.
Oh, wow.
Which is saying something. Yeah, some people have that opinion of him. That's how good he was in high school. I'm not saying college or whatever, but
over Adrian Peterson.
Yeah. This guy was like crazy putting up numbers, and it started in like 7th grade. I mean, this guy was like ridiculous. I remember the videos about him playing high school ball when he's coming into the league, and and obviously the downside was his height. That was about it. But I don't think there's any doubt about his physical talents. He can escape anything. I think it's definitely going to help our run game, especially with the dual threat or the any type of option play, RPO, anything like that. That just expands our offense. We barely did that, just on like a unique occasion as a trick play that worked, which was awesome. Got a touchdown or a big play out of it a couple of times this past year. But you should see more of that, I think. And I think opening up the offense like that will also help our running backs, because you got to be scared of Kyler keeping the ball at any time. And honestly, one of the best things about Patrick Mahomes when he had the cheetah is that jailbreak plays. Like he'd be moving around, and Cheetah would find an opening. Well, that could be Justin. That could be Justin again. That could be Jordan Addison. It sucks because that could have, Jalen Naylor is pretty good at finding an opening too. That we lost him. I'm trying to tell my Raiders buddy that, yeah, you got a good one. You got a really good one. But yeah, I think the offense is going to be a lot better than it was last year with Kyler. I would have been really worried going in this year with if we stuck to McCarthy, but I think Kyler makes it more exciting. But pairing it with that defense, because he throws fucket balls every once in a while, and this guy could our defense can save his ass when that happens. But I think he'd probably throw fewer fucking balls than McCarthy did earlier in the season. So
Yeah. I think that it massively raises the floor of the offense for next year.
oh yeah,
Um,
good way of putting it.
he he doesn't really put the ball at risk. He doesn't throw a lot of interceptions, and he doesn't take a ton of sacks. But at the same time, this is really interesting. Actually, Collar said he actually plays a lot like Kirk Cousins does. To the point where he protects the football very well. He takes his shots when they are there. He completes a lot of balls, but his ADOT, average depth of target, is not necessarily going to lead the league.
I heard he's like the fourth or fifth most accurate quarterback in the NFL right now, or something like that, or
He's
completion
always
percentage.
been an accurate quarterback. Yeah. The thing that gets him in trouble, and you kind of mentioned it, is that when he gets pressure in his face, he can't throw over guys, right? So he's going to get a lot of
Might
balls
not be able
batted
to
down.
around him either.
Right. He's going to get a lot of balls batted down because he's 5'8". That's just the fact of the matter. But when he tries to let the ball go when a guy's in his face, he just kind of goes off his back foot. And because he's not 6'4", 6'5", like Jordan Love, he can't really get away with getting that ball to go up and then down over the linebackers.
Mhm.
And so that kind of lets the ball float, and that's when he gets into some trouble and throws some bad interceptions. Um, and so I was listening to Jeremiah Searles talk on one of the shows, Offensive Line Community, and he was saying that when you're protecting for a guy, a shorter guy like that, it becomes really important to make sure that you're stout up the middle. Like Drew Brees for the longest time had two kick-ass guards and a good center, so to give him space so he could see over the line because he wasn't the tallest guy. I think he was 6 feet tall. And so
Yeah,
that
he's like 5'11".
yeah, so that'll be something to watch with currently Blake Brandel serving as our starter, who wasn't fantastic in pass protection
Might not
last
be
year.
able to throw over his own lineman. That's the
That's
thing.
another
6'7", right?
that's another interesting thing is that our offensive line averages on average is 2 inches taller than the Cardinals offensive line was. So that is something to watch. So does that mean that Kevin O'Connell is going to have to change up his offense to feature more shotgun? Or are they going to try to keep Kyler under center much more? Because Kevin O'Connell's system it utilizes the quarterback under center a lot more than it's in shotgun. Realistically, they're in shotgun on third down, but when it's first and second down, they usually like to be under center. Well, in Arizona, Kyler was usually out of the shotgun for most of his offensive coordinators. However, in 2024 and 2025, when Drew Petzing was the offensive coordinator, he did have Kyler under center much more, utilizing play action, and he did pretty well with that. He looked pretty good with that. There's a misconception with Kyler that he can't throw over the middle. Matthew Collar pointed out in his show, when you look at 2024 and Sam Darnold and how often he threw over the middle in the Vikings offense compared to Kyler and the Cardinals offense, it was only like 2% more. And it seems like so much more because Darnold, how many times did we see Darnold hit Justin Jefferson on a dig route over the middle for 20 yards? Like it happened, it seemed like all the time, but not as often as we think. So, after just listening to some of these guys breaking down the film, I actually feel much better about the signing now for this year, knowing that, I do think that Kyler Murray can be successful in this offense. But I do have a question for you, partner. Thor Nystrom is of the thought that our offensive firepower is vastly overrated. Yes, we have Justin Jefferson. Yes, we have Jordan Addison. Yes, we have two bookend tackles, but our running back room, is a little bit left to be desired. Jordan Mason, super solid back. Aaron Jones, when he's healthy, still gets it done in the passing game, but it doesn't really have that burst anymore. We definitely need somebody with some more burst. We have no wide receiver 3 on the team right now outside of Ty Felton, who last year was basically a redshirt year other than playing punt gunner for him. And, our center situation is up in the air. So there are some spots to fill on this offense. So where are you, Dave, when it comes to the supporting cast that Kyler's going to have for next year, as of right now, pending the draft?
Well, I mean, it's, older, and, you lose your third receiver, and TJ Hawkinson's maybe not the same guy. Yeah, of course was he saying it was overrated last year, and that's why his
Yeah.
golden boy didn't perform as well? I don't know.
No, he wasn't going there with it. He was just saying that we like to say that this is a awesome supporting cast. Is it as awesome as we think it is? And I think that there's a little bit of a point to that in the basically when it comes to depth. If Justin Jefferson goes down, okay, Addison comes in as your one, that's fine. But we do not have a 2. We do not have a 3 behind Addison, right? So wide receiver room needs depth. Hawkinson is going to be motivated as hell this year. He's in a free agency year now, right? He's going to try to get paid next year. And then running back room, we just need a little bit more juice, I think. I do like that Aaron Jones came back for $4 million, basically took a big pay cut. I think essentially what he did was that he had his agent test the market and say, okay, what am I worth out there? And then teams, didn't really give him numbers that he liked. So he said, okay, I'll just stay here if my market's going to be 4 million, whether I go to here or, the Browns, or I don't know, wherever he could go. Not the Browns. They have 2 decent running backs. But and I think that's why, and it's nice to have him as a captain in the room, but I'd like to see his workload severely decreased and mostly just become a third down back for us out of the backfield and pass protection.
Yeah. When he did come back, right, after injury, he did well. It started out pretty slow with him, right, and then he did come back and he popped off a little bit. But yeah, he's nowhere near what he was in 2 years ago when he first got him. So what I don't want to happen is to prevent us from drafting a guy or picking up a guy that we could have had, but we got him now. I don't want that to happen. They need to reload. I think it's above average running back group. With the way it is, because I think Jordan Mason could be a top 10 back in the league. Do they trust him as much? It didn't seem like it, and yeah, he ran the wrong play at a kind of a critical moment. But JJ McCarthy bailed him out on an awesome throw to end the game. But the receivers, we're top 2. Depth is gonna be bad if we got injury, right? But again, we don't know what we're about to draft or free agent or someone dropped or trade that might be available. So it could be good. We could get a nice third guy in there. The guy we have might pan out. I don't remember who we had behind him. It just doesn't seem like we had anybody.
Tyler Chandler?
What's that?
Ty Chandler?
No, receiver.
Oh, behind Ty Felton?
Yeah, behind Ty Felton.
Miles Price? That's really the only guy I remember.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's definitely, I would not be shocked if, this might be a hot take, but I wouldn't be shocked if we see a wide receiver in the first round in the NFL draft.
I think we're more than willing to take the best player available at any point. And you talk about, well, we had a group there, yeah. I think this would be really a good time to just start, no matter what, just drafting the best player available, no matter what the position. It's especially with the age. I guess I saw again that we're like third oldest team still.
28 years average age, third oldest team. And that's because we haven't hit in the draft for how many years now?
It's bad.
I did want to bring up, so AJ mentioned this name.
He says Makai Lemon.
Desmond Claiborne from Wake Forest is one of those smaller, undersized backs, but he is just lightning, dude. He is so athletic, so fast, Like that would be a fun guy to pair with Jordan Mason for sure. And you can have him late in the draft too. That'd be a fun name. I still like Emmett Johnson. He grades really well in the run game on PFF. He does not have the top end speed, but he's really agile and elusive in the hole. He will make you miss plenty. I think of like LaShawn McCoy with a little bit less speed, but I like him. I like Jonah Coleman from Washington. He's like a little Maurice Jones-Drew type guy where he's built like a bowling ball, short and stout, but he's going to kind of run your ass over. He's a lot like Jordan Mason. I think he's a little bit more elusive than Jordan Mason, but he is a decent pass blocker too. So it's a little bit redundant with Jordan Mason, but at the same time, I like him. He's a good back. Jadarian Price, I like his speed, and he's a really good running back. He was just overshadowed by Jeremiah Love. And I just think that he's going to go like as the RB2 probably in the second round. I don't think I want to spend a second round pick on a running back in this draft with all the needs that we have. So those are some of the guys I'm looking out for. Daniel says that I'm going to say this. We are going to be last in the North. So sorry, KFC. I think he meant KOC. Yes, he's fried chicken. Or maybe he said, sorry, KFC. Yes, he's fried chicken. Kyler won't fix anything. It's like Kirk Cousins 2.0 with less upside. You're just going to have to explain, Daniel, like why you're so low on the signing. Because for me, like for the value of $1.3 million, if he's bad, like if he's legit bad, JJ McCarthy beats him out in camp, like we're not paying him anything. JJ McCarthy can win the job. Now, I don't truly believe that this is going to be a real competition, mind you. I think that Kyler is QB1 and that he's either going to have to get hurt or just be ass cheeks, and McCarthy's going to have to be clearly better than him to win this job. That's my opinion. But I'm just not as low as you are on Kyler Murray. I think he's still a good quarterback. I don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. No, I don't think that. I think that you are right. He slots somewhere where Kirk Cousins always slots, which is probably around the 15th best quarterback in the NFL. But here's the thing with Kirk Cousins is like we paid him guaranteed contracts, right, every year, so you couldn't really move the money around. And you're paying Kyler $1.3 million. So, it's a good roster around him. I like the move. We run less than any other team. So is Kyler RB1 as well as quarterback? Can't wait to see that off script and watch KFC go berserk. What do you say, Dave?
So he might be RB1.
I don't foresee him. He's fast, but he doesn't like run as much as you think.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If he 500 some yards, adds a, decent amount of touchdowns off his legs, that's gonna be nice. That'll be nice. Giving us a little bit more of a red zone threat, with the mobility, the threat of running, the fear of that. God, think how I think JJ McCarthy had that naked bootleg. They're gonna have to accommodate for that.
Yep.
With on every play.
And what's interesting is they talk about it all the time. They see coverages that no other NFL team sees because of the way that they guard Justin Jefferson. In particular, like the Bears stick out to me a lot because when you watch the Bears film back, they always have three guys playing like a triangle defense around Justin Jefferson. That's why, in the Bears games, you'll see TJ Hawkinson go off. You'll see Jordan Addison go off. You'll see Jalen Naylor go off. But it's hard for Justin Jefferson to go off because that's one team that just says, nope, we are going to completely sell out and take him away. Now, if you have the threat of a good running game, it's hard to do that, right? It's hard to spend three bodies on Justin Jefferson if you're worried about us running all over you. But at the same time, if you have a mobile quarterback now you're going to use a lot of that action to free up the defensive end, right? So now you're playing like +1 on the offense in terms of your blocking schemes, because now they have to play the not only the play action, but they have to play the quarterback keep action now, right? So the numbers are now working in your favor as an offense. So that'll be interesting, marrying having Justin Jefferson on your team and the schematic advantage of having a mobile quarterback play with him.
He might be taking a defensive player away to need as a spy.
Exactly.
So on a like if he like goes off a couple of games running the ball, breaking ankles, there might be in the next couple of games where you see a devoted guy just spying him on every play, which takes a defender out of coverage. So you could do so many different things. Now, honestly, JJ McCarthy's pretty mobile, but again, he's not nearly as accurate as as Kyler Murray's been. So, yeah, the threat's there. I think he has a decent arm. Not the best, but pretty darn good. You wouldn't expect it from his size, but again, I think he sees lanes. He's had to do it his whole life. Throws in lanes, and I think he takes he pulls the ball down when appropriate. Like you said, he avoids sacks. It's, I was never high on him, but it's always been about his height, not about his, physical abilities other than that. But he did, like I said, he has on occasion, again with us, the last couple of times I think we played him, he's thrown a fuck it ball in a comeback situation where, we ended the game. At least the last time I think we played him, he did that. But, yeah, he puts up yards in multiple ways, so I'm for it. Oh, we need a little more oomph, we need that first down that we weren't getting because we're going 3 and out.
Right. The completion percentage has to be better.
Turnover. Does he protect the ball better? All those things are probably better because we got a veteran now that's still pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah, I agree. I did want to bring out a legit criticism that I agree with Daniel on this one. He says that in terms of third down and long, there's not very many quarterbacks in the NFL that have been worse than Kyler for the last couple of years. He's right about that. Third down and long has been bad for Kyler Murray. But I will say this, everyone thinks that, Marvin Harrison Jr. being the top draft pick, was wide receiver 1 for them. He wasn't. It's been Trey McBride, right? And Trey McBride, who lines up 70% of the time outside, not as an inline tight end, but outside as a wide receiver, he's great. But his average depth of target is less than 7 yards still because he's a tight end. Okay. So what I'm trying to get at is the Cardinals and their supporting cast, they haven't had good wide receivers to help Kyler out in those situations, to be fair to Kyler. But I'm not going to say that, Kyler's completely absolved from, that statistic. He needs to be better on third and long, 100%. And that was a criticism that a lot of Cardinals fans had, is like, when it was on the line, it was late in the game and it was third and long, like you could just count on them not getting it. Like they knew it wasn't going to work. Now, does that change with Kevin O'Connell? All right, as Daniel calls him, KFC, because he's cooked apparently. Now, I don't agree with that. I'm still a big KOC guy. I know you are too.
Yeah, people talk about how we had a bad offense last year, but what about the years prior leading up to that? We've been one of the best offenses in the league. So, yeah.
I think Daniel's rebuttal to that would be that it was all Sam Darnold, and Sam Darnold was better than we thought, and he made KOC look good. But I think the truth is in the middle, and I think that Kevin O'Connell does deserve a little bit of blame for last year and how the McCarthy thing went, and probably could have made it a little bit easier for McCarthy, put the training wheels on a little bit sooner. But with that said, I still think Kevin O'Connell's a great coach. You don't let great coaches walk out the door. The grass is not always greener out there. We could find our next Les Frazier and win 3 games without Kevin O'Connell. So just moving on here. I do disagree with this point here. He's saying that post knee injury, Kyler's not the same. He might not be the same as when he first came in the league, but he's still pretty damn fast. That was on tape last year. There was a rush that he had against the Rams where he ran backwards to the right, to the left, and gained like 30 yards. That dude's still fast as hell.
Stop talking about that garbage. Stop talking your garbage, man.
No, and Daniel, I like the interaction. Like, it's totally okay, and I welcome your opinions, and we will talk about them. And I agree with some, and I don't agree with others, and that's fine, man. It's football. That's what we're here on the show for. We talk about football. So,
what would you rather have happened?
that's what they're talking about in the comments, is throwing out names. First name he's going to Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. I don't know. I think I'd have Kyler. I'm just joking, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, this is where I want to take the conversation next. Does this mean it's over for JJ McCarthy as a Viking? And I adamantly disagree with that assessment. And I'm hearing that all over the place, and that's rubbing me the wrong way. Okay. It's not trending well. I'll give you that. It's not trending well. And when you find out that Kevin O'Connell said to Kyler Murray, out of all the options that we could have brought in here this year at quarterback, you were the only one that I could see being a long-term option. Okay. That still doesn't mean that they're giving up on JJ McCarthy, but it's just saying that you're too valuable not to bring into this organization and to bring into the quarterback room to add competition and to help the Minnesota Vikings. That's the way that I take that. Now, as I've said, I still believe that Kyler Murray is QB1. He'll be taking all the QB1 reps, and JJ McCarthy is going to have to play his ass off to take that job from him. But I've said this last week on our show. I think a year on the bench with not as much pressure on McCarthy could be great for his development. Playing on the scout team, playing around with his arm angles, with getting some air under the ball, throwing more 2 balls and 3 balls rather than the fastball, the 1 ball they call it. And just becoming a better thrower behind closed doors could do him wonders. And if we get to a situation at the end of the year where Kyler Murray is good, not great, he wins us 10 games, maybe we miss the playoffs by 1 game, maybe we get into the playoffs, but we don't win a playoff game. And you're like, okay, do you want to extend Kyler Murray? Not for the market. It's a little too expensive. And then you got JJ McCarthy on the last year of his rookie deal. And maybe you roll with him for one final shot. You know what I mean? Or maybe you draft a quarterback. I don't know. The bottom line is the Vikings have options now. And I wouldn't say that JJ McCarthy is done in Minnesota. And I would not trade him right now with his value being so low. I would let him be QB2. Learn behind closed doors. And you know what? Kyler Murray has not finished a season fully healthy in a few seasons now. We might need JJ McCarthy. So how would you react to that?
So, like Daniel's saying, he's not in the top 13 in the league right now. Okay, he's 14th, I guess then. What were we last year? 34th? It's like there's only 32 teams. It's like, so. And you said earlier that Kirk Cousins was 15th in the league, but when he got hurt, he was first in touchdowns and second in yards. That sounds like top 2 at that point. So anybody could be a move up from 15 to 5 to at any point, depend on their situation. Is he going to be third? Is he going to be like he was in his last team? No, I think he's going to be better. No one put the value of 1.3 million on it compared to what we would have had to do if we, got a bigger name or whatever, even Kirk with 10 million that he was needing to, to make up for the money he lost, for taking whatever to restructuring his contract. So just that saved it, because right now people think, why are the Vikings doing anything? Because we don't have any money.
Right.
This gave us a chance to upgrade at quarterback at a very low risk situation. I'm still talking about the quarterback position, but it gives us the ability to even do anything, honestly, and get better. It was by far the most valuable way to get better is take a shot with $1.3 million. And as far as what you're saying about JJ McCarthy, he needs to improve his throwing ability.
Yeah.
His touch on just any throw. Just everything's a fastball. he has for him to complete the ball he had to have such great anticipation and throw it to a place to have his receiver run to it, or the person had to be wide ass open with no lineman in front of him because he couldn't throw it over him with touch. He had to throw a fastball, and you saw what happened. It would go into the damn, bench and hit the Gatorade, tanks, whatever. But he needed so much work, and we're managers or coaches do not want to lose at all. At no time do a coach at any point in their career want to lose. Neither does a GM. Brzezinski's riding on this too. I don't know if we keep him, if we give the job to somebody else, so he's going to want to win too. He wants to show what he can do. Maybe he does want to be a GM. They're going to want to win, and they're not going to just say, oh, you know what? Let's just put JJ McCarthy, roll the dice again. Maybe this time he gets it. They know they have something, but this may be the best thing for his career. It might not be with the Vikings, but it might be the best thing for his career because he's going to learn something. He's going to get better. He's going to have a chance to work on stuff. I don't know how much, but it does sound like it's a potential competition in practice. So maybe he is going to split, and get that work, get that competition.
Yeah, it's not the Minnesota McCarthys, guys. It's the Minnesota Vikings, right? And they have a duty to the veterans on this team, to Justin Jefferson, to try to win games. So at the same time, Kevin O'Connell's job is to develop JJ McCarthy, right? And if he's not ready to play, then he's not ready to play. And who am I as a foot and ankle doctor to tell you guys if JJ McCarthy's ready to play or not? I'm going to let the head coach, an ex-NFL football quarterback, tell us if his quarterback is ready to play or not. And by these actions, I think they're telling us he's probably not ready to play. And by watching him last year, I don't think he was quite ready to play. Now, you know me, I'm Mr. Hey, JJ McCarthy has all the tools in the world to be a good quarterback someday. He just needs to develop, and he needs to stay healthy. And all these injuries that he suffered so far are just unlucky bullshit injuries so far. And I still believe in the kid. But at the same time, we can live in this world where we say it's not black and white. It's a world full of gray. And signing Kyler Murray this year is probably the best thing for the Minnesota Vikings. I think that's where me and my partner both stand on this. I did want to bring up this comment here that said, we got to cut out the doom and gloom. We went 9-8 last season, didn't even finish last place, which is true. The Lions got that last place schedule, which kind of sucks. That would have been nice to be able to play the Cardinals with Kyler Murray. That would have been really fun this year. We can win the division if health holds up. 100%, dude. I don't think me or my partner.
To talk about that.
And you might be talking about Daniel being doom and gloom, but me and my partner, we were talking off camera, and this next segment is for you. I was going to ask him how he feels about the Minnesota Vikings for this year and their ability to win the division. And before you go, Dave, I just want to say that the Minnesota Vikings are currently projected the 4th place team in the division at plus 600 to win the division. I think that is the best money you can lay down for a division winner right now in the NFL, because the way that I see the NFC North is all of these teams are neck and neck with each other, and it's going to come down to health completely. Who's the healthy team? I think the healthy team wins the division.
And I think our defense could dominate the whole league, not to mention our division. Just to be competent on offense against us, and we weren't competent on offense last year, and we won 9 games.
Not even close.
We weren't maybe in a couple of games we were like, oh wow, that was pretty decent, but it wasn't anything to look at. We were not competent, and we won 9 games. We won the last 5 games of the season. Road, home, all of them. Last 5 games. And that showed a lot to the character of the team, a lot to the actual just how great Flores got his defense ready to actually allow it to happen. This defense could be incredible this year. I do still hope that we draft some difference maker in the interior D line. Really, I hope that Redmond is. Yeah, we're gonna lean on his ass, and he's been awesome. Honestly, better than I could ever hope. What just happened with him? Did he sign an extension? I saw.
Who's this?
Did we pay him Redmond? I saw.
No, he just signed his tender. He's getting paid peanuts.
Okay.
He's going to need a new deal, but he's locked into the Vikings for this year.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So he's at least good for this year. I didn't read the article. I was driving. But yeah, I mean, we have guys still there, young guys that needed opportunities and that were being taken up by Hargrave and Allen. So but when we can add more through the draft, and I expect us to do that. And UDFAs, we've been good with that. So hopefully, it's not Quasey choosing UDFAs. It was the scouting department, right? And we just he prioritized them and made the calls. It wasn't exactly him saying, "Hey, I want all these guys." It was a collaboration. What chased him out was the fact that we're in cap hell again. When he got us, supposedly got us out of it just to put us right back into it within a year.
Yeah.
Because of the bad signings last year, or throwing money at nothing. That was the one. I still can't get over the money when I saw the money he put at Hargrave and Allen, right?
Yeah, Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave.
Yeah, so the two contracts there was like, these guys better be good. I'm like, they're okay. I thought they were okay at best. Maybe have still some life in them, but made us older.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't trust Redmond for some reason, I thought. I'm like, give this guy a shot. We didn't need both of them, but now they're gone. Next year would probably be a little bit freed up. Especially we still don't have to, especially if McCarthy comes out of this and takes over again. It opens up more possibilities. The future looks a little more opener. We concentrate on the draft a lot better than we have. We have draft picks now.
Yeah.
I think we're set up to make a little bit of a transition. We got to get out of it. We got to get younger. We got to draft. We got to prioritize this. If we trade down and get bodies and make good choices with guys that love football and are athletic, they got to love football and be athletic. It's just no way around it.
Yeah, I mean, to AJ's point, he says, I'm telling you right now, I'm not scared of any defense in the division. I agree with you, AJ. When you look at the division and you look at the outlook for next year, when I said the healthy team's going to win, every team has flaws. Okay. The Vikings have flaws. We have depth issues on our team, but the top end talent at the starter positions is still pretty damn good for this team. The Chicago Bears, their defense has a lot of flaws, a lot of holes to fill. They survived last year off the most turnovers in the NFL. They had the highest turnover margin. They did a good job on offense, not turning the ball over, and their defense forced a ton. But we all know that regression hits teams hard when it comes to that. That's why the 2022 Minnesota Vikings, who won a bunch of games based on turnover margin and winning games just like the Chicago Bears did in the last minutes of the game, winning a lot of one-score games, that usually, doesn't go from season to season. So Bears are a big regression candidate. Detroit Lions, they have to replace their left tackle. They just signed a center in free agency who I'm not a big fan of. I don't think he's that damn good. Their offensive line is just not getting better. It's getting worse. We beat that team twice last year, basically because of Brian Flores and mashing the double A gap blitz, and they couldn't stop it. They had no answer for cover zero against us last year. Can they fix that this year? That's their biggest question mark. The Packers, really, it's injury question marks with Christian Watson and the receiver room having a lot of guys who are injured. They lost Romeo Dobbs, who went to the Patriots. Josh
Overpaid.
Jacobs what's that?
They overpaid for him.
Yeah. Josh Jacobs is another year older, also starting to fight some injury stuff. Tucker Kraft's coming off injury. And then Micah Parsons is coming off a major injury. So, there's question marks in their team more so out of just injuries and can they stay healthy and how do these guys come back from injury? And then you have Jordan Love, who half the season looks like an MVP candidate, and then half the season you're wondering who he's unrecognizable. He's just not the same guy. So can he find consistency? So all of these teams are good teams, definitely playoff caliber teams, but they have flaws. And which team can stay healthy and take the division? The Minnesota Vikings should and could be right there with this division because of all the things we've talked about with the top end talent and then the coaching. I don't agree that Kevin O'Connell's cooked. I'm not going to call him KFC. I think he's a damn good coach. And then Brian Flores is a freaking coup d'etat for this team. He should be an NFL head coach, but because they're blackballing him, we get to have the best defensive coordinator in football, and he's going to win us 4 or 5 games just by himself, which is fantastic. So we're on the same page. This team is a playoff team. And then, can you add some more pieces, fill some of these holes like the wide receiver room, maybe a center, even though I'm okay with Brandel at center. And then defensively, we have some holes to fill as well. We need to get a little bit deeper at corner. AJ says that Elijah Williams and LDR need work in the preseason too. These are 2 young defensive tackles that the Vikings are high on. Can they step in and give you anything in the middle? That's a great point, AJ. Just catching up on the comments here, guys. Yeah, Norpheus is wow. Norpheus is down on KOC as well. But I get it. Norpheus is, he said here he's approaching 50. He's tired of ownership continuing to run this back with mediocre quarterback and crossing their fingers that they can get to a Super Bowl that way. So I'm not going to fight you guys. You certainly validated to feel that way. And we don't know how the season is going to go, but I'll tell you what, I'm excited. You know what I mean? I choose to be excited for this year because I think the Vikings can be pretty damn good. And I think that Justin Jefferson is going to show us again that he's the best wide receiver in football. That sucked last year for all of us, right? Watching Justin Jefferson watch the ball sail over his head. Like, him not getting his production was shitty to watch. And I'm hoping that he can be the exciting wide receiver that we get to watch next year.
It was definitely the quarterback play that didn't get Justin Jefferson involved. It was definitely the quarterback play.
Daniel, I'm excited to see us get blasted. I don't know what to say, dude. I don't know what to say, man. In other news, the Minnesota Vikings signed the best punter from 2015, Hecker. This is the guy who spent a lot of time with the Rams. I think most recently is with the Titans. He has every club in his bag. He can kick the ball sideways and make it jump straight left, straight right. He can throw the ball on a fake punt. I think he's a million years old, but he can still kick the damn football. I love the signing. I mean, when it comes to pinning teams deep inside the 20, he's the best in football. He really is. And I was listening to Matthew Collar on his show when the Saints signed Wright away from us. And he was saying that because of the new NFL kickoff rules, a lot of the starting field position, is closer to the 40-yard line, 30 to 40-yard line. So it doesn't take many yards to get you up to midfield. And then if you stall out, it becomes really important to have a punter who can coffin corner you inside the 20-yard line. So
right,
I
you're
think
not having to flip the field as much, I guess.
Right. You're not really looking for the guy with the boom leg as much as you're looking for the guy who can pin you deep. So I like the signing from that sense. I think that it's a smart thing to do. Yeah, just catching up on comments.
I saw a recent
KFC hate fest.
Yeah, I never seen a guy get so much hate that has had so much success.
Yeah, seriously, dude.
I don't get it. Considering what we've had, coaches that flamed out as a Viking head coach, like in big time fashion, like holy crap, 3 wins or I never had a bad defense, or it's like
This is a really good question. I'm going to ask AI right now. Does Hecker hold field goal attempts? I'm betting he does, but that's something to watch out for. Will Reichard was nails last year with Wright holding for him.
I saw a Microsoft commercial that had KOC and Dallas Turner on it. Did you ever see that?
I have not.
Yeah, it was an online ad, and it was a Microsoft and whatever they were doing with, like, I don't know, they were partners with the NFL on timing and stuff like that, and analytics, with movement and stuff. And it was Dallas Turner showing us, doing pass rush moves and stuff like that, and just screaming, flexing and stuff like that. So I think it's kind of neat, the fact that they took the young guy, and and you don't take a guy that you don't think's going to have potential and is not an athletic freak, and say, hey, let's do an ad about him. No, you take the guy that's an athletic freak that's got a future, which kind of you talked about in the off the air about Jonathan Grenard. Maybe you'd want to talk about him.
Yeah, real quick. Johnny Hecker does hold, as Norpheus points out, across the league. Punters hold. That is a thing. Used to be backup quarterbacks more frequently. Now it's just the punter. But yes, he is held for the Rams, the Panthers, the Titans, and he's considered one of the best holders in the league. He says here that he's actually really good at doing the no-look hold, where he catches the ball, the snap, sets the ball down for the kicker without looking down. Move highlighting his high level of trust with the long snapper, whatever that means. But so that's good. He's a vet, right? He's got a lot of experience holding. It took Ryan Wright a while to get good at holding. You remember this? It was shaky at first.
I was always worried because he was kind of pudgy. He was fat.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, man, I don't get down easy either, man. So I don't like, I got a fat guy getting down on his knees to hold a pigskin, belly get in the way. I didn't think he would be a good holder. I was super worried about switching punters.
Now, you brought up Grenard. Is that a guy where right now, based on the way things are looking, you'd rather just keep him and pay him? Or are you still interested if you can get a second-round pick where you move him?
We have him for next year too, right? Or no?
Yes. Okay. Yep. He's signed through 2027. But you know that he's not going to play on this current deal. There's no way he's playing on that deal. His peers are getting over $10 million a year than what he's making right now.
Yeah, but they also didn't have only 3 sacks and come off injury, so there's
fair.
So there's still leverage with the team. He's not and there was a reason why. There must have been a reason why he only got 19 coming.
Yeah.
From the Texans.
He'll be a hold-in candidate all training camp.
Yeah,
is what I foresee.
But take your time, man. I want you healthy.
Yeah,
you play
more rest for Dallas Turner.
I'm a huge fan of him, man. I think he's got a lot of tools in the belt when it comes to pass rushing moves. I think he's ridiculous. I think he's that good. He could have been that good. And we discovered last week he's got 9.25-inch hands. He's got JJ McCarthy sized hands at defense or at outside linebacker, and that I think that's why he's not bringing people down. When he grabs them, he's got small hands. I don't know. I always bring it up. If I look at a player and if they're fumbling the ball or dropping passes or can't tackle, I'm looking at their hand size, because it's a big deal, and that's why basketball players are good. That's why that's why Jordan could do this shit all the time, and there's even Russell Wilson, I think he has pretty big mitts. So it makes a big difference. And we talked about Murray, he had 9.5-inch hands. So his are a little bit bigger.
Yeah. I did want to talk real quick before we get into our mock draft to end the show. We always end on a mock draft. I want to talk about Caleb Banks, one of my favorite prospects going into this draft season. He had a stellar combine. He threw up those numbers that we talked about on a previous show. He was like a 90-something% athlete with a broken fourth metatarsal in his foot. That was unbelievable. Now, my antennas went up at the combine when they said he didn't finish the full workout because he had foot soreness from his cleat. And then it later came out that he had a fractured fourth metatarsal. Okay. Typically what happens, now this is where you get the foot doctor side of me. I can
This
actually
is where I
explain some of
step
this
in,
stuff.
take over. No, go ahead.
Yeah. So typically what happens is players are fighting with something called a stress fracture, where they have not an acute fracture, so the bone's not broken, but they have bone swelling. And when you work out hard on that bone, it's weakened to the point where it can cause an acute fracture where the actual cortex of the bone will break. So that's probably what happened to Caleb Banks in the fourth metatarsal. Now, here's why it's concerning. I believe in the exact same foot, he had another fifth metatarsal, which is the bone behind your pinky toe, fifth metatarsal fracture that he lost most of his season to last year in Florida. So I'm wondering, does he have a bone metabolism problem when it comes to calcium or vitamin D that is literally making his bones slightly weaker than his peers? That's something that NFL teams need to look into. They can do that test with a simple blood test, and they can do something called a DEXA scan, which tells you how strong your bone density is. Now, it could just be complete bad luck. That's true. But when you get two separate metatarsals fractured within 1 year of each other, I'm starting to wonder if there's something else going on there. And keep in mind, guys, that his tape in college was not like mind blowing. He was interesting because he's built in a lab at 6'6" and 330 pounds, and he moves like somebody should not be able to move at that size. But he won with a lot of like quick swim moves, knifing into the backfield, and then kind of blowing up the play, but not actually making the tackle. So he had a really high missed tackle rate. So you're basically drafting that guy. At the time of doing mocks, we were taking him at pick 18 with the understanding that you still had to mold him into a good player, that he's not a finished product by any means. He is not Chris Jones to step into the league. Now with these foot injuries, I don't think I would feel comfortable taking him until our second round pick at 49. If he fell to 49, I think I'd feel better about taking him there. I would still have some worries, though. This is a team that desperately needs to hit on their draft picks, and Caleb Banks is carrying a lot of risk right now. He just had surgery to repair the fourth metatarsal, so they do that with open reduction internal fixation, where they put a plate and screws over it. That's going to take 6 to 8 weeks to actually heal the bone. He can get back to light duty at the 8-week mark. He will not be returning to football-like activities until closer to 3 months. So if you count that out, that's basically June from now. So, you're going to see him cleared for training camp, but it'll probably be a ramp up process for that. And again, this is a big man with multiple foot injuries. It does concern me for sure. So I'm intrigued by the talent. I do think his draft stock is going to fall, but he carries a lot of risk. Now, AJ brought up he says, I'm having Sharif Floyd PTSD from the Caleb Banks. So I get it. Completely different situation. Dude, I think I've gotten into Sharif Floyd in the past. That is a wild situation. Like, talk about malpractice almost situation from what I read.
Yeah, it was fuck. I read
He
about
had
it too.
he had a knee procedure going on. I thought I read something like the resident fucked up in that case, and there were some things that went on during that surgery that shouldn't have happened, and unfortunately, it ruined a young man's career who was on his path to having a really good career.
Like, they did a procedure he didn't approve of doing. Like,
That's what I read. Yeah, I need to reread that article, but at first I thought he just had nerve damage from the thigh tourniquet, which is very rare, but it can happen. But then after reading the article that came out, I was like, oh no, they fucked up his knee. Like malpractice. And I think he won the lawsuit, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? A neat thing I saw that he said he bled purple. Like, he tweeted that out back when it was Twitter, that he still bleeds purple. So I'm like, Really? You still like us? That's great.
Wasn't he? I think he was like coaching for the Eagles or something for a bit there.
Mm.
I don't know what he's up to now.
He was nasty.
Yeah,
He was
Shreve
going to
Floyd
be
was
good.
awesome. I love that guy. That sucked. That
He
draft
was going
class
to be
of
good, man.
Patterson and Rhodes and Shreve Floyd could have been freaking awesome. All right, man.
Remember
Let's jump
how
into our mock.
excited you were after that draft? Holy shit.
Yeah, I was in college and I was watching that just like I in disbelief. My Bears fans were with me and they were like, "Holy shit, the Vikings just got 3 studs." And I was like, "Let's go." Like this is
And
it.
then we misuse Patterson. Tree Floyd gets ends his career, and
Dude, Patterson
he
was
had Rhodes.
still a very valuable player in like a weird way, just with his
Well, his
return
kick
ability.
returns, man, they
Yeah,
were ridiculous.
and just the wide receiver screens like that Baltimore game where he took like 2 to the house because it was snowing
Well,
and
his
nope.
second in his first game of the second year, he had a 100-yard rushing game. Yeah, I thought, and I tweeted, I don't know, it was Facebook at the time. I was like, it's year of Patterson. So.
Let's jump into our draft. I got surgery in the morning. Ugh.
I got training.
Train
Oh
it.
yeah, pull it up.
Yeah, congrats to Dave. He's got a new
Dave
job.
got a new job. Yay, and I like it too.
He's my surgery assistant now.
It's a unique thing. Yeah, I'm gonna be handling the scalpels. Yeah, we got this.
Let's just do we don't have to do a full 7 rounds. Let's just do like a 5-round or you already started.
Have it set up for 5.
Nope. Oh, nice. Look at you. Great minds think alike.
What happened? Okay,
question for you.
Pause.
Should we, number 1, trade Jonathan Grenard? And number 2, I meant to talk about this. We just ran out of time. Trade for Devon Achane. Chat, what do you think about trying to trade for Devon Achane if the price is a 2nd-round pick?
I saw a trade suggestion. I forget who it was. It was a prominent guy too. In Vikings, brought up the trade of a 1st round, 18th overall, and we got back Achane and a 4th rounder.
Yeah, 18 is too rich for me. I'm not trading Achane, or I'm not trading a 1st rounder for Achane because you have to pay him. Running backs are not that valuable, although I really like him. I think a 2nd-round pick is fair.
Yeah, I'd do it for a second.
AJ says he is out on Achane, so we'll do that another night. But tonight,
it's over.
I saw Dylan Thieneman still on the board. I am a huge Dylan Thieneman at 18 if he's there. That's me. That's my pick all day long.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Talk about, I was talking to a Bears friend of mine. He says, if they pick Dylan Thieneman, I will be so pissed off because they are, as soon as Harrison Smith retires, they pick another Harrison Smith.
Look at this.
Like 28%.
Most drafted by the Vikings.
Yeah. Mel Kiper and Daniel Jeremiah both released mock drafts today, and they both had Dylan going to the Vikings, and they both said the same thing. They were like, I come to pick 18, and I see Dylan Thieneman staring at me, and it just makes too much sense. It's a perfect pick. Good marriage for both sides. I would like to switch up the pick because Daniel Jeremiah has now mocked him 2 times in a row to the Vikings. So I'd love to switch up the pick, but it just makes too much sense. So, Dylan, you're a Viking.
Yep, done. I'd be happy as shit.
Now, I actually talked to a few people on Twitter who said that they would not be happy with a safety at 18. Now, if he's just going to play in the parking lot, I would agree with you. But Dylan Thieneman he's designed to play. He can play deep. He can play in the box. He can cover Colson Loveland one-on-one. He can be that chess piece for Brian Flores and basically control the matchups for Brian to do whatever the hell he wants. So I'm all in on that.
I just, I'm the single eye safety, sideline to sideline capability of that dude is amazing, and that's why I love him.
Daniel says I wouldn't. I'd go round 1 defensive tackle to be TBD. Round 2, D'Angelo Pons. Yeah, I love D'Angelo Pons. So Daniel and I finally agree on something during this episode. It only took us an hour and 12 seconds to do it, but my God, we got there.
Have we
D'Angelo
not
Pons,
drafted Pons yet?
we have drafted him before. D'Angelo Pons.
I mean, we have we not done it?
Oh, have we not done it? Yeah, he's our favorite round 2 selection, honestly. Let's scroll down though and look at some other options. Chris Johnson, we like. Bigger guy than Pons. He's 21. He's fast. He's got good PFF grades. Pons, though, he's Antoine Winfield 2.0. I mean, he's just a dog. He can blitz. He can tackle. He can cover. He's just a very good player. Eli Stowers is a guy who I like in the second round because TJ Hawkinson is in the last year of his contract. Malachi Lawrence is another guy I really like in the second round if they move on from Jonathan Grenard. This guy, 6'4", 250. Go to his grades again.
Redshirt senior.
So his pass rush win rate is 19%. His pass rush grade is 89. And his true pass rush grade is over a 90. These are unbelievable numbers. And he tested as a very good athlete. So this is a guy I think he's a perfect guy to bring in as edge number 3 if we move on from Grenard. Guy to keep an eye out for. Keontae Scott, more of a slot corner from Miami, had a really good year, really good blitzer, kind of reminds, like it's a really good Flores type of corner. I don't think his coverage ability is on par with guys like Chris Scott or with D'Angelo Pons, but he is a good player in another name. And then there's Jadarian Price, the running back. His elusive rating, look at that, 118. He's uber athletic, very, very fast, overshadowed by Jeremiah Love, but I absolutely believe he's RB2 in this class. So we have lots of options here. I'm going to zoom out here so I can look at the chat and see what people are saying. AJ likes Chris Johnson. He's the truth. Norpheus like Pons. I want dogs. Daniel says, I want dogs that actually bite, not just any dog. They liked Keontae Scott. So, I mean, people are all over these names. It seems like we can't really go wrong with these picks. Anybody offering us a trade? Who's the closest trade down candidate here? All the way down to 53. Yeah, we could take that. See if they'll take 53 and 76 for 49.
Why am I not? So 53.
And then add 76. They said no. Go back to 76. And then add in like a late, like 195 or something. See if they say yes after that. Still not. Nope. They're not about that.
Do this.
I don't want to give up a top 100 pick to do that.
Yeah.
What about let's just stick and pick. Let's just
Seattle
go
64.
Let's just go Pons. Chef says, let's just get Achane. Just send it. Full send. So our options come down to D'Angelo Pons or Devon Achane here. Or Jadarian Price. Oh, you already picked. Who'd we pick?
Yeah.
D'Angelo Pons?
He said he told me to do Pons.
Yeah, you're good. We'll do Achane in the future. Yeah, Connor Liu is a guy that we really like here in the third round.
Vikings,
look at that,
11%.
11%. Kyle Lewis is a really good cover linebacker, but he's not great in the run game. I had some guys in the chat really like Devin Moore previously. Anthony Hill Jr., I think, if he's still on the board here, that makes a lot of sense for Brian Flores. He's a raw player. He's very young, 21 years old, 6'3", 238. He's a sideline-to-sideline type of linebacker, but he doesn't have great eyes yet. great discipline, so he will fall for misdirection. But he is a really good linebacker. I think he's going to be a really good player in a couple of years. Jake Slaughter, I've kind of cooled on him, to be honest, just because he doesn't have the athleticism that Connor Lew has. So I'm much more of a Connor Lew guy. In fact, I'm actually Logan Jones over Slaughter. And I like the guy from Kansas State, Hecht. I forget his first name. Sam Hecht, I think his name is. So I'm all in on Connor Lew here. Take our center of the future.
Connor Lew. Done.
By the way, Norpheus said that he is team Price over D'Angelo Pons, but he does like Pons. Wow. Young Cringe Gamer says Anthony Hill Jr. is his number 7 overall player on his big board. That's spicy. I mean, he really likes him some Anthony Hill Jr. I don't know why PFF is this low on him, to be honest. It's very, very low on Anthony Hill Jr., and I absolutely think he's a top 2-round player. He's not falling to the 3rd round, in my opinion. I don't know why he's on their board. He's 86th on their big board. I don't get that. Kind of disagree. All right, where are we at here? Who's on the clock?
Just a second. It's us.
Oh, we didn't take Connor Lew?
Yeah. I'm looking at something. You see. Draft profile. 4.5 Anthony Hill Jr. 4.51 40.
Yeah.
37-inch vertical, 10.5 broad, bench press 21.
Let's pull the trigger. Let's do it. We'll find a center with our next pick.
Okay. Connor Lew. Running back here.
So what we should have probably done was pulled the
Malachi Fields.
This is why we do the mocks, but we should have pulled Anthony Hill Jr. with that last pick, and then we had Logan Jones looking at us at 97.
Yeah.
That's why we do the mocks, But I like Genesis Smith a lot, but we went with Dylan Thieneman, so we don't need him. We still need a running back. I do like Jonah Coleman. Good pass blocker. Just a good running back. Go back to stats. What's his elusive rating? 85. So not the best. Not terrible, but not the best.
Malachi Fields.
Yeah, his stock's kind of down.
Yeah, it's 40 time.
Morpheus says Hill plays like he's 4.2 speed. He's a fast linebacker.
Curious. This tackle from Miami. 6'9".
Wow.
6'9" tackles.
345.
Yeah. I don't want just too much. Too much
what?
I don't know. Guys with good bend can easily get by him.
Oh, yeah.
Like a 6.
Too damn big. It's like Phil Lodeholt. He was pretty good, though, man.
Yeah,
Phil's a dancing bear.
He was some road grader.
Yeah.
Jumped off, false started a lot.
Let's take Jonah Coleman. Let's roll with the running back.
Okay.
We got one more pick, 161. Let's click on your picks and refresh everybody. I think we went with Dylan Thieneman with 18. We went D'Angelo Pons, Connor Lew, center of the future, Jonah Coleman, running back. Now we're on our last pick. Really need a wide receiver, in my opinion. Let's take a look at the wide receiver room.
happened here? Full draft.
So if you go down to just under,
here we go. All right.
It says
yeah. What did you say you wanted?
Wide receiver.
Okay.
I like Kevin Coleman. He's a slot guy. He's really quick, wins with quickness, good hands. Jeff Caldwell, man, he is like a speed demon. 6'5", 215, and he's a blazer. He just
9% Vikings.
He's very raw. You're gonna have to work with him on his route running. If he plays it all in year one, it's gonna be just a 9 route, a clear out route, right? But he is just height, weight, speed guy. So that's an interesting name. If you want more of a refined guy who can play right away, you're looking more, in my opinion, at Coleman from Missouri. Kevin Coleman Jr. Really good at contested catches, more quick than fast. Kind of a standard slot type of guy. And then somebody in the chat earlier asked for Bryce Lance. I do like Bryce Lance a lot. He just went before we could pick him. But yeah, I would like Bryce Lance. He's like a reincarnate of Christian Watson. Went to North Dakota State University, has the same athletic build. Yeah, defensive line is another spot we could look at as well. I think we kind of missed the train on that. Wow, he's huge. 6'5", 315. What's his run stop?
23 years old.
What's his run stop grade? Yeah, it's really good. 8.6% run stop. His grade 74.5 run defense. He could be that real big nose tackle for us. I'd be good with him. So my only, I would just go with Capehart, call it a draft. My only, wish we could have done this was, I think we need to find a way to attack the wide receiver position early, and it's probably coming at the expense of skipping on Connor Lew. Wow, they loved our draft. Look at those grades. So PFF loves them some Dylan Thieneman. Whenever I do these exercises, Dylan Thieneman is going to the Bengals at like 9 or or a 10 or the Dolphins at 11. Like, he is not making it to the Vikings almost ever when I'm doing these simulations. So, I mean, just very solid value.
This is the first draft they liked of us.
That you've liked?
That they've liked of us.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a solid class. I mean, that's just the first 5 picks there. All right, guys. Yeah, Daniel thinks that the Thieneman's going top 15. I hope not. Any other year, safety usually falls as a position, and just it comes down to surplus value and what teams pay safeties, and you can usually find safeties in free agency, not on top dollar. But this year might be different because it seems like a lot of the best players are at non-premium positions like safety. So,
and you don't have 4 quarterbacks in the draft.
Exactly. All right. Well, I got to get running. Great episode. Good chatting with everybody. Thanks in the comments for keeping the discussion going. Dave, congrats on the new job, my man. I will see everybody back here next Tuesday, where we will have some more to break down, hopefully, when it comes to a couple more free agent signings. I did see that the Vikings put a tender on a backup tackle for the Buffalo Bills, trying to move on from Justin School and get a little bit more talent there. And the Buffalo Bills were a team that liked to utilize 6 offensive linemen, and this guy was one of the guys that would come in and just road grade for them for the running game. So that's interesting. We'll do our homework on that guy if it goes through. Buffalo does have a chance to match the offer, and in that case, the Vikings would not get him. So we'll take a look at him.
Oh, nice shirt, by the way. I just noticed it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Skol. See you next week.
Vikes.
Skol Vikes.